Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Matt, and today I will present you Duskers, an independent roguelike developed by Misfits Attic. This game was released on Steam on Wednesday, the 18th, after having been in early access for quite a while. It's a game in which you are possibly the last human in the universe. You are exploring the universe in a spaceship. There are derelict spacecraft, ships, stations, and so on around you, but there are no humans on any of them. There are enemies, so you don't explore the spacecraft yourself. Instead, you have a couple of drones that do the job for you. Let me show you how this works. Basically, we are in this galaxy, the Kexel galaxy? No, Asimov galaxy. Okay, apparently that is a bit of a bug. It wasn't planned that I show one right now, but things happen. The first fix is supposed to come out tomorrow on Monday, so there's that. Anyway, we are in the Asimov galaxy, and Kexel is the system. I don't know if I even spelled it correctly. Our ship is the Justice Rider, a government sea ship, and I already have a upgrade in it, remote power. What upgrades do, I will explain that later or some other time. Mainly, these are our drones. John, Qbert, Aaron, and Jill. Jill is currently not active, has 0 hit points of 80, and I only do my exploring with John, Qbert, and Aaron right now. Each drone has some drone upgrades, the gather, probe, sensor. I will show you what they do as the mission progresses. So when I go into the system, I am at the Brunei Kushik. This is marked in yellow. That means I have already explored this ship. I thought I had moved to the next one, but apparently I haven't. So let me do that right quick. This used 2 propulsion fuel of the 6 I have, plus 3 reserve. And I'm now at the Navcom, a ship of the class Muteki B. It's all displayed on the right. It contains 1 infestation type. That doesn't say how many enemies there are, it just says how many different types of enemies there are. It's 207 days old apparently, and the status is volatile. It's right where we are, distance 0. It has not yet been visited, and it has a scrap capacity of 32. That's not to say how much scrap is on this ship. It's to say if I commandeered that ship, this would be how much scrap I could carry. In the bottom of the view, you can currently see I have 31 scrap and a capacity of 50. The thing is, those drones and their upgrades, they sometimes break or fail. And to repair them, I need scrap. As an example, I could repair Jill's hit points to back to 80, or from 10 to 80 actually. It's done in 10 HP steps. That would cost me 8 scrap if I repaired it fully. So with 31, you can guess how much I can actually do right now. The thing is, if one of the upgrades starts breaking, it will need 10 or 11 scrap to repair, and so on and so on. I can modify the upgrades as well, which also costs scrap. So, let's explore our ship, the Navcon. Here we can once again make sure we got all the drones and all the upgrades we want. But since I set that up in the before boarding, it's already correct. So let's just board the derelict. We get a little overview of the ship, and yeah, we already get a communication that could be restored from the ship. This one is relevant to one of our objectives. Whenever you board a ship, you can get a restored communication, and some of them cause an objective. As I said, apparently the whole of humanity has been extinct, aside from the drone operator that you play. And your goal is to figure out how did that happen. One theory is a singularity, as in somebody messed around with AI and that became self-aware and decided that humanity is not all that great and needs to be removed. Another one is I think a super predator was one theory. What else did we have? A Grey Goose scenario, and so on. So, yeah, this one is relevant to the singularity event, and you progress through the storylines by docking at ships and finding those communications. And in some cases, you need to do special things. As an example, commandeer certain ships and so on. But for now, we will just take care of this ship. I'll show you a standard mission. I hope it's going to be standard. First off, we move John and Qbert to the first room, and Qbert gets to power the generator. I can move them with the mouse, with the arrow keys, singularly, or I can give them a movement command. As an example, I can say navigate drone 1 to room 3. And that happens. Now I do have a probe upgrade, so I will just use that. And while our probe is exploring the rooms, I send Aaron to this terminal. Ooh. And tell him to interface with it. Which gives me some extra commands, like survey, with which I get a deck plan of the ship. What I don't like, however, is that I don't have access to much of the ship right now. Oh right, this yellow thing that's lying there, that symbol, that's scrap that I want to gather. And I got it. Ha! Okay, now I got my probe locked into room 3 by closing D12, the door. Those things with D are doors, the ones with A are airlocks. Ooh, more scrap and another generator. And R is of course the rooms. Okay. The thing is, I dropped the sensor in room 3 because I'm not sure if there's an enemy in room 6. If there is one, it will move through the door into room 3 and the sensor will tell me that it is now there. As there hasn't been any movement, apparently, I can go in here, drop another sensor, and indeed, no enemies. Picking up the scrap from room 6. I've let my probe out, I don't like to do that. And yeah, that's okay. There was an enemy in room 7 and it just moved to room 3. And by the fact that it destroyed my sensor, I can tell what kind of enemy it is. It's the easiest enemy in the game, but I don't have any weapons to kill it. The thing is, your goal isn't necessarily to kill all enemies. It's actually just to explore the ship. Now, sometimes killing enemies can be a bonus, but in most cases you're safest when you just bypass them. And sometimes I went to this interface because sometimes interfaces have different commands that you can access. Now I'm just putting a mark in room 3 so I don't forget that there's an enemy in there. And yeah, it said when we boarded the ship that there is one type of enemy aboard. That means that this sensor is also going down, because the only type aboard this ship is the one that attacks sensors. Now I picked up my probe again, because it's kinda getting on my nerves. Just telling my drone to gather all scrap in the room it's in. I can do that from from the ship view, which is current visual, because it's the only drone that has a gather upgrade. Okay, now I think I want to put a new probe out. Ah! Of course that happens. Ui! Okay. Looks like we found quite a bit of stuff. The yellow thing that looks like a drone is a drone. It's one that was disabled. It probably holds some uh, some upgrades that I could use. So I'll send. I could send my drones the way that the probe went, but at the bottom of this room we have another airlock. So we go into our boarding ship and dock at airlock 2, which is the one on the bottom. Room. So we are right there. We can just open it and go in. Oh. Gather all scrap. Okay, that's just one. And tell drone 3 to tow the first thing it finds, which is a chip upgrade. The thing that is blinking purple-like in the overview. Move that into the boarding ship, so we take it back home with us, and tell him to fetch whatever he can find in room 9, Aaron. And because we are at it, let's drop another sensor. So, what? Oops. And the thing is, the fetch command that I used for drone 3 is one that I set up myself. Which is in this file, fetch. That means I send drone 3 to the room that I define, in this case room 10, and then call the salvage command. And salvage command tells drone 3 to activate its tow and then go back to room 1. This works because all orders that are given to a specific drone are executed one after another. If I were to say close airlock 2 and move drone 3 to room 9 and close airlock 2, that wouldn't work. Oops. Because it would tell the drone to start moving and immediately close the door, which is not what I want. Hmm. Now there are currently I have bypassed the 2 enemies on this ship. Actually, let me check something. No, not 3 to R9. But there are ways to actually kill the enemies. One is a turret upgrade on your own drone, which is exactly what it says. It's a Gatling turret, pretty much, or machine gun turret. It has limited ammunition that can be refilled, and it kills enemies. Another way is cannon or turrets that are installed in the ship. Those are uh, those are controlled by interfaces, which is why I sent drone 3 to check out the interface in room 9. Because as I said, sometimes interfaces have different commands. So if there's a turret or a defense turret in the ship, then there has to be an interface that actually controls those defense turrets. But apparently there are none in this one. And now we have a bit of a problem, because we can't yet explore room 10. The doors next to it are white, that means they aren't powered. I can't open, for example, D4. It's not powered. So I have to find a way to power these doors. The problem is each generator, the one drone 2 is sitting on and the one in room 2, only powers a certain amount of rooms and the attached doors. And I think room 10 is powered by the generator in room 7. The problem is, you'll probably remember, we put an enemy into room 7. Which is not exactly good for our drone too. I could use my ship upgrade remote power to control or to power the generator in room 7 without moving drone 2 there. But I think I will do it differently. I'll just open door 8 and get the enemy back to room 8. There it goes. Oops. That means I'm losing the sensor, but I can't pick them back up anyway, so whatever. And I can move Hubert to this room and activate the generator. And indeed, we do have power in room 10. But we don't have any resources there, which is fine. Be that way. Okay. So we'll just go back to room 1. Or to airlock 1. And tell drone 2 to get back home. Kinda wondering where my probe is. Right here. Ah! Okay, that's another bug. If you spend 6 minutes in ship view, the little smiley face on the probe vanishes in drone view. So yeah, that thing that's moving in front of John, that's the probe. Eh. Right, so we got... we could actually kill those enemies. The third way to kill enemies would be to space them. That is to say, explosive decompression is in full effect in this game. And why not? Let me show you how this works. Now we know we have enemies in rooms 8 and 3. So we go ahead and open door 17 to make the enemy from room 8 go to room 9. And as you can hear, it went to town on the sensor. This room is clear again, room 8. That means we have an enemy in room 9. And room 9 does have an airlock. Which means I'll just open this airlock, close it again, and I don't have any more enemies. Well, actually I only have one enemy left, the one in room 3. But this, room 9, this is clear. Problem is, as you have already seen, door 10 is now broken. It's not responding anymore, I can't open it. That happens or can happen when you open an airlock or when a room gets exposed to the outside. There are several ways for this to happen. One of them is opening airlocks, being a room adjacent to a room with an opened airlock, which is why I closed door 17 earlier. And asteroid hits also expose doors to the rooms to the outside, and so on and so on. Anything that isn't nailed down in a room exposed to the outside goes outside. So you don't want to do that in rooms that contain your drones. Enemies are fair game though. Now we're done with this ship. We could kill the last enemy. The problem is there's not much point in it. The only way I could kill it is by spacing it, and that doesn't give me any resources. Some enemies drop resources, scrap, when they are killed, but not by spacing, because anything they would drop gets spaced as well. And the ship wasn't that good, I think. Yeah, scrap capacity 32. I think I have more right now. So we'll just leave. I exit. And it gives us an overview of what we collected. No propulsion fuel, no jump fuel, 7 scrap, which isn't bad. However, our interface is deteriorating and our tow is deteriorating. That means that the braking probability at the end of a mission is now 18.39 or 17.04%. 17.04 for tow and 18 for interface. Oh, ha! Didn't check that. I could have swapped upgrades with the drone I picked up, because it contains a mine and a stealth. I don't like the mine that much, but stealth is a very powerful upgrade. Why does it say they survived 3? Huh. Anyway. So we have a new drone in our fleet, which is Rick. We have a new ship upgrade, the Ship Surveyor, which would give us the layout of a ship right when we dock at it. The thing we got by the survey command. We got a new drone, 2 new upgrades. I just removed them because Rick is currently out of business, and he does have a lot of health though. I could put him into the lineup. And Aaron has 2 broken upgrades. I think I'd better repair the interface, and the tow gets scrapped because I can create a new one. And that's just 7 scrap that I spent for it. Which is to say I get 3 scrap, I spent 10. If I had repaired the tow, I would just spend 10. And that leaves me with 21 scrap. Oh well. Gonna see what we do with that. Right, so that's basically what we do in this game. Explore ships, get new objectives. As we see, the theory behind the singularity, an artificial intelligence orders of magnitude more intelligent than humans, would pose a distinct existential risk. AIs capable of recursive self-improvement, progressively redesigning themselves, and autonomously building better versions of themselves, would take advantage of the delay of accelerating returns to not only surpass, but very quickly far surpass, human intelligence. The rate of this advancement would be tremendous when compared to historical precedent, Such an AI would quickly become uncontrollable by its human creators, like a chicken trying to contain Einstein. The thing is, of course, would this AI actually pose a threat? Would it actually kill all humans? As humans are so so fond of accusing it of, or wouldn't it? And the thing is that, or the thing that even got us to this theory is that some researchers designed an AI that actually could uh, cause this to happen, theoretically. Which is why our recommended course of action to find out more about this is to gather additional communications from Muteki vessels. But the only thing we got was this one we picked up right now. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm not gonna spoil anymore. Not in this video. I'm thinking about making a little strategy demonstration. I have to say this derelict was a very easy one. I have very good upgrades. I know how to use the ones I currently have. I have plenty of scrap. Although I have to say I just spent 10 scrap on this vessel. I went in with 31, now I have 21. But the thing is, those upgrades, they were already degrading, and they would have needed repairs sooner or later anyways. I could use different upgrades instead and scrap the ones I do have. But the problem is that the interface is actually a very strong or very powerful upgrade. The survey command that I just had is actually one of the less powerful command. Actually, it's only the second most powerful command of the interface. There is also a way to scan all currently powered rooms, although that fails on some rooms. And the thing I mentioned, the defense. That one is just, yeah, it's, as soon as you get this, you can get rid of pretty much any enemy type. The thing is, there are 4 different enemy types, and in this mission again we dealt with the simplest, with the easiest. Although it does tend to kill sensors, it's not all that dangerous even if you don't have sensors. Problem is, of course, finding out what enemy type you're dealing with. Until that sensor got attacked, I had no idea. So there's that. And the thing is, once you have visited the ship, you can't visit it again. You have to keep traveling, you have to keep moving to another ship, which uses propulsion fuel, or to a whole other system, which uses jump fuel. Which brings us to this view again. There are little numbers next to the systems. For Nev, it's 1. That tells us how much jump fuel we use to get, or we need to use to get to that system. And there's the problem in this game. Scrap is limited. You have to pick it up from the relicts. Fuel is limited. You have to pick it up from the relicts, or you can get it from trading posts. Okay, that wasn't exactly what I wanted. I just jumped there. Like this. We just moved to a new system, the Haplet system, and there are more derelicts here. We got the trading post. This one sometimes has upgrades, fuel, and it gives you the possibility to create jump fuel. But all of that goes scrap. You can sell upgrades or scrap them yourself to get scrap, but and the same goes for drones. You can scrap them as well, also for getting scrap. But yeah, some of the drones and upgrades might still be needed, for exploration. So you have to decide, what do you keep, what do you take with you, what do you use. Anything that gets used once in a mission will start breaking down. If you don't use it, it's fine, but if you use it, it gets damaged, and once it's broken down completely, which is this failure probability, the 15 or 17%, 17 that we had. Uh, once it At the end of the mission, there is a test if the failure probability just increases or if the upgrade fails. It will only fail if it is actually yellow. That means above 15%. Otherwise, it won't. But once it has failed, you can't use it anymore, and if you scrap it, you get, I think, one scrap out of it. Which is why I scrapped the toe upgrade, because as long as it's still yellow, you get 3 scrap. Eh. So that might be a bit of a exploit, but one that works. Now we have a new color in this system. We have orange. That means to board these derelicts, we need to have an upgrade that we don't have installed right now. This station here is under quarantine, which means we need a quarantine bypass to board it, if we want to get aboard. And this one is an outpost that we can't dock with. It does have airlocks, but none that we can dock at. And that means we need a transporter to get aboard. And we have neither of those. So there's that. What I actually wanted to show was that when we are in the galaxy overview, we can press space to see what kind of derelict we have in other systems. And here we got another raiding post, some more ships, hibernating, and another station. Or we can just press home and get back to where we are. So yeah, it's an exploration game that gets harder with the further you get, and it's actually kinda addicting. You have this, you tend to get this whole just one more derelict feeling, and suddenly it's 2 a.m. and you realize you have to get up in 4 minutes, in 4 hours. But well, the next derelict is only 15 more minutes, so why not? Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. So yeah. Anyways, I hope this was a bit interesting for you. If the game interests you, feel free to buy it. It's actually pretty fun. One caveat: if you don't have the correct upgrades, it can be quite a bit scary. If you have a problem with jump scares, those can happen. So don't say you haven't been warned. And with that said, thank you for watching, and good night.